my Dallas Cowboys, you guys see the flag, you guys see the shirt. And I'm here to say that I am watching the Dallas Cowboys this season. And it didn't occur to me until yesterday when Florida State just had an abysmal performance, and I was watching DJ Uiagalelei just absolutely overthrow and be inaccurate the entire game. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm not going to watch Florida State for the rest of the season because the season's over. So I'll go ahead and watch Dallas because I know they're going to be at least somewhat competitive. CeeDee Lamb is back. And here's what CeeDee had to say about the new contract he got.
How does it feel to finally get the contract out of the way, and what does it mean for you, your family, all that?
Quite honestly, it's still surreal to me. A great moment. Obviously, I'm happy for myself and my family. Appreciate the Jones family. Shout out my agent for getting this done. It was long. It was a process, but we're here now. I'm back home.
He's back home, he said. And he got a $38 million signing bonus, which is the most ever given to a receiver as well. CeeDee Lamb on the Cowboys, we obviously need him. He's our best player. It's not even close. He broke the Cowboys record for catches and yards as a receiver in franchise history last year. So he's a huge part of our offense. And I think CeeDee Lamb's going to have a huge season. I think he could have close to 2,000 yards. I would say this right now. I think CeeDee Lamb can have a season like Cooper Kupp did in 2021 when the Rams won the Super Bowl and he won MVP and he was going crazy in fantasy. I remember I had him in fantasy that year and he was literally a quarterback. Like he was putting up at least 20 points a game in fantasy. That's crazy. And CeeDee Lamb is on my fantasy team this year, which we actually will get into a little bit. We'll review it. I'll let you rate it. But CeeDee Lamb's on my team. I'm happy. I got him with the second overall pick in my draft, but with Michael Gallup retiring and a lot of question marks outside of CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks at the wideout position, CeeDee Lamb's going to have to really step up even more than he did last year. So it's going to be a good season for the Cowboys. I feel like we're a good regular season team. We are. But when it comes to the playoffs, we just can't get it done. That's what I'm wondering we can figure out. Because Dak Prescott wants to get paid, and Micah Parsons wants to get paid. Now, do I think moving off of Dak Prescott is a smart decision? It really depends. Because if we go to the draft and take Carson Beck, maybe. But are we going to be bad enough to be high enough to pick him in the draft? I don't know. And I definitely don't want Shedeur Sanders as a Dallas Cowboy. I would rather us keep Dak Prescott. If we can't get somebody that is a good young prospect in next year's draft, or if we can't get somebody better than Dak Prescott. Because I'm not a huge Dak Prescott fan, but I mean, the numbers he put up last season were MVP-type numbers. They were MVP-type numbers. And that's the reality of it. And then Lamar Jackson snagged the MVP with Tyrod Taylor numbers, which made absolutely no sense. But I will give Dak one more chance in my book. I think he's a great quarterback. I just think he gets into his head and he lets the pressure get to him when it comes playoff time. And you guys can see that when he's on the field, he's staring at the twinkle lights, things like that. I don't want to see that. And we have a big test week 1 against the Browns. They have the number 1 ranked defense last year. So this is going to be a test. And our offensive line is going to be put to the test as well because we lost Tyler DeBazier, okay, and we lost Tyron Smith. We lost 2 key guys. Now, I think our line's still good. We drafted Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. We got Terrence Steele back. He had a torn ACL last season. We still have Zach Martin, who's like a Hall of Fame offensive lineman. We still have a question mark at center, but I think we'll be okay in that regard. So we have a decent offensive line. I'm just worried since Dak, the weapons around him aren't the greatest. I'm a little concerned about that. But as long as CeeDee Lamb is playing, I mean, I'm not really concerned. Before CeeDee Lamb signed the contract, I was like, man, Cowboys aren't going to go anywhere if we don't have CeeDee Lamb, which is just true. But, when we signed him, I'm like, man, should I watch? And I've constantly been looking for an excuse to watch because I don't know. I just feel like I'd be missing out, and I feel like I'd regret, not watching my favorite team because, football doesn't happen that often. I mean, there's only 18 weeks. If you count the playoffs, there's maybe like 22 weeks if you go to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, you don't have a lot of time to really enjoy football. So I'm going to enjoy this season. I'm not going to get angry with the Cowboys because there's no point because I don't play for them. So it doesn't serve me well. It doesn't serve me well. So I'm fine with that. But CeeDee Lamb, 4-year, $160 million. He is signed, sealed, delivered. He's on this Dallas Cowboys roster. And he's on my fantasy football roster. Let's go. Cowboys Nation, we're back.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my